Welcome to Useful Programming Tutorials. Today we're going to be going over how to install Unity, what Unity is, and basic features of the Unity editor. To download Unity, you have to go to the Unity website. To install it, just press Get Started, Individual, Personal, and then if you already have an account, I assume you would have skipped this part of the video, but if you don't, you'll press Start Here, First Time Users, and just follow the steps. It's fairly straightforward. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Once you have Unity installed, you should have a program called Unity Hub, and that is the program where you can access all your projects and all your versions of Unity that you have installed. It doesn't really matter which one you have at the moment. There shouldn't really be too much change from this tutorial. I'm going to be using 2020.1.2 F1. To create a game, you will have to click New Game on the Unity Hub, and it should bring up this menu that I have here. For this tutorial, we're just going to use 2D. So you enter your project name and wherever you want to put the project on your computer. Then you just click Create. So once you've clicked New Project, or you've opened a project if you already have one, you'll see this, and this is the Unity editor. So first of all, we'll talk about the top here. We have File. With this, the only thing you really need to worry about is maybe the save. That's quite useful. New Project, to make projects, open project, but usually you'll be only using one project, so you probably don't need to open any if you are on one already. So build settings, that allows you to change what platform you want to build your game for, and what that means is, well, when you press this build and run, that will basically compile your game so you can just run it as a program. So on the Edit tab, the most important thing is probably the project settings. Here you can change a lot of different settings. One important setting that you should probably know about is the Input Manager. The Input Manager allows you to control what buttons do what in your game. So now we're going to move on to the hierarchy. This shows everything that is in your scene. So a scene is just, it's kind of like the thing you're currently working on. In this scene, we just have a camera. That's just what happens as the default. We could also add, by right-clicking here, you can add a cube. Well, we can't do that because it's a 2D game. You can add a sprite, maybe. That's just kind of character. We'll go over that in more detail in a future video, though. So once they're in your scene, they will appear in this hierarchy, and then you can edit them from here and add different kinds of components to them. So maybe a button, I don't know. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is this thing at the top, scene view, game view, and I'll get rid of this animator, that should not be there for you. So scene view, here we have, well, that just shows you what's in your scene. So you can turn 2D off and on, and what that does is, well, if it's on, it will be in 2D, but if it's not on, then you can see your scene in 3D, and I'll add a cube just to demonstrate this. there was a cube. If we want to delete this from our scene, we'll just press delete. And to demonstrate something, we can add a point to light in here. And let's say we add a cube. Now you can see that one side of the cube is lit up, but the other side is very dark. And now if we destroy this light, just by left clicking on here, hierarchy, and pressing delete, the light goes, and that is just a dark cube now, even though the material for this is white. So if we turn the scene lighting off with this button, it will just show us the material that this is. So that could be useful if you're working with a dark scene. You don't necessarily want to be creating it without being able to see. So you just turn this button on and off. If you need to see, then you should probably turn it off. But if you want to see what your scene looks like with your lighting, then turn it on, and it will just show you what the lighting will look like in your game. So next we're going to take a look at the game view. This is the window you use when you click play and when you want to test your game in the editor. Another thing we're going to look at in the scene view is the move tool and the rotate tool. So the move tool is this like 4 arrows here. This will just move the object around. So if you click the arrow here, it will move it along the axes that you have selected. The rotate tool can be used to rotate your object. As you can see, that will just move it along the axes that I've selected. On the right is the inspector, and whenever you click something in your scene, you can see all the information about this. So the position, we can just change that as well, like 10, it's gone up in the sky. The next tab we're going to look at is the project tab. From here you can access everything in your game. Currently we only have a sample scene, which contains all this stuff on the left. And we can also create new folders like, let's say code. The last tab we're going to be looking at today is the console tab. And this will show any warnings. I have one, I don't know why, but never mind. Any error messages as well, and also you can output stuff to here if you need to for testing purposes. So now we're going to create our first C# script. Maybe like test, recreate that, double click, and it should open Visual Studio. So we'll see that it says public class test and test. So that's just the same as our script. And then we'll see that we have this start. Just, as it says, start is called before the first frame update. And what that means is before your game starts, it will do whatever's in this start function here. And in update, it says update is called once per frame, and well, that's exactly what it does. It just runs whatever code is in here every single frame. So public void say hi. And what this would do is, well, we want this to say hi. So you need to use debug.log or print. So debug.log is included with C#, print is included with Unity. So we have to put a message in here. We'll just put hi and hi. this void means that, well, void just means this function will not return anything. If I was to change this to int, we would, yeah, there we go, we got an error. Not all code paths return a value. So we could put return 1 or return 2. So now if we put in start, say hi, this on our cube, there we go, we have test. Now if we run our game, it will say hi twice, because in Visual Studio we have say hi, and then it will debug.log hi and print hi. And then in here you can see where it's called, like where this output is called from, and it says test 21, then test 22. So that's well there and there. So say we wanted to put this here, well, what would it do? Every frame it will print hi twice. Now the final part of this tutorial, what happens when you get an error? So if I wanted to break this code deliberately, what I would do, what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to create a new list of ints, let's say, called bad. Don't worry about this for now, it'll be covered in another tutorial. And in this bad list, I'll try and read a value from the bad list which has not been assigned, and that will cause an error. As you can see, there we go, an error every frame. So I'm just going to pause this now so we don't keep getting errors all the time. You can pause, you can go forward 1 frame, and if you see 673, what should happen is that should go up by 1. Yeah, 674, there we go. So you can see that it says say hi here, and that tells you that the error is in the say hi function. So you could see that, well, bad 1 probably not going to work. So then you'll fix the error and then it should work. Well, that's been the end of today's Unity Concepts tutorial, and you can see another video in the series in hopefully a week. In the meantime, you can have a look at our Python series and our other Unity series, which guides you through the steps of making a game.